Hello, I'm Greg Retke of Retke Mods, and welcome to episode 9 of Season 3 of my PowerPC series. Today's episode is going to be a special episode where we'll be unboxing a new unbox system. A new unbox device. And if you're looking here, you might notice something's a little out of place in the PowerPC series. And that's because of this box right here. If you're looking, you may notice a Pentium 4 era gateway PC here. And that's because what's in this box right here is one of the most unique Mac Oddware things I've ever seen. ATI, I'll just tell you what it is now. It's an ATI Radeon 9600 Pro. And ATI around 2003, actually I think they did a few cards in 2002. I don't know if NVIDIA ever did any cards, but ATI released a bunch of 9000 series graphics cards that were both Mac and PC compatible. And this is a Radeon 9600 Pro. It's got, I think, 256 megs of RAM in it. And if we look down here, we have a 9600 Pro 128 from the Gateway. I've had this system since it was new in 2004. And this Gateway has gone through 3 major upgrades. We're not going to go into big details about it. It's a PC. This is a Mac series. But I've kept, I think, all the original parts. This originally came with a 128 meg Radeon 9600, which you see right there. And then right next to it, we've got a Radeon 9600. It's not a Pro or an XT. It's just a regular 9600. This was introduced in early 2005 G5 models. And then we've got my MDD Firewire 800, the Gateway, and the G5 in the background. We'll be testing this card here in all 3 of these, because this card, I bought it, it's supposed to be new in box, but the seller did take pictures of it outside of the box, which means it's not sealed new in box, but hopefully it has never been used, and it cost about $26, so it was worth it. So basically what we're going to do is be unboxing this, showing you everything that came with it new, and then we're going to show you what happens when you try to run a PC card in a Mac or a Mac card in a PC, and what happens when you're running a card that's designed for both in either one of them. So let's get going. Okay, so we'll start off by unboxing it from the packaging it came in from the mail. Let's get these cards out of the way. Alright, what side should we attack it from? I'd say this side. And it's really moving around in there, which worries me. You know my luck with unboxings, so hopefully it's in one piece. It's a weird box. AKA, I think it's just made out of another box. Let's see here. And it's sprung out. Toss that over here. Alright, here is the box wrapped up in a lot of tape. Maybe do it through here. Cut towards me. Probably end up cutting one of my fingers off. would not recommend doing it this way. Okay, we can already see the real box. Okay. It's still got tape around it. Okay. It's free. And here we go. Here is the box itself. As we can see, supports AGP-based Windows PC, supports Apple 30-inch cinema display. That's what I have not told you yet. This is the only Radeon 9600 Pro, or 9600 in general, that supported dual-link DVI, which is required for the 30-inch cinema displays, which ran on 1440p, I think. Not 4K, the one in between 1080 and 4K. I can't remember the wording for it. I'm a little tired today. But anyway, you need dual-link DVI. This is the only 9600 that came with dual-link DVI. Now, Apple did have a 9600 series card that came with dual-link DVI, but it was the 9650, which came with the early 2005 G5s. And it's literally just one of these right here. It looks identical to this too, except with more VRAM and dual-link DVI. But Apple, other than the 9650, they never had a 9600 that had dual-link DVI. But the retail cards came with dual-link DVI. You know, I don't know why, but it's cool. If we look here, here is the card itself. And let's see here. We'll go over the specs real quick. Now, this is still a low-end, high-end card, kind of medium range for the time period. This is like an entry-level gaming card, sorta, but it was still a very good, powerful card. And this card right here is, of course, the both PC and Mac edition, as we can see here. And it's going to be really cool. Let's open it up and see what's in it. And if we look here, we can see all the specs. You know, it supports Windows XP, which will be running it in XP on here. And it supports OS X. And I don't know what... I think this requires 10.3. So, Panther. Yeah. 10.36 or later. This should also work in Jaguar because it's really no different than the original 9600 that came in the G5. Although it might require the G5 specific drivers. So it may only work on the G5 version of Jaguar. But yeah, this is, here's the box. All the resolutions it can go up to. And, you know, here it is. Dual Link 2560 by 1600. That's the 30-inch cinema display there. And, you know, they played it up to be a universal card because it is a universal card. It's a very interesting card. The first time I saw one of these in person, I knew these things existed, but I'd never seen one in person. Michael Stanhope had one sitting on his shelf. He didn't know what it was. It's now running in his G5 because I told him what it was. But at the time, I didn't even realize it was also PC compatible. Very weird card. I'm sure ATI didn't make many of these because it's got to be really complicated to get all the ROMs onto one EEPROM. Because from what I've heard from various sources, like Des Roth, for instance, it all came on one EEPROM, so it's got to be a really big file. But anyway, Basically, it detects what it's plugged into, and it just goes into that mode automatically. So, and I think he put it in the box wrong, but this will still give you the kind of experience of it being new. Get this packaging out of here. Okay. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be like sitting like this in the box. Yeah, he put it in upside down. But here is the card, but we'll go into that in a second. What does it come with? It comes with a VGA to DVI. Pretty cool. The same do not return this product stuff. You have a warranty. All the paperwork. Let's go through this real quick. It's never been opened. I don't know if I want to open it. Let's pull it out here. It's got software CD, catalyst drivers, a guide. It's really descriptive, isn't it? Tells you how to, I guess, install it. Pretty cool. Then it comes with a getting started guide. That one makes more sense. That also shows you how to install it. This is the Mac specific one, I think. You know, this is really, really cool. And this should work in any Mac, G4 Mac from the Quicksilver, digital audio through the MDD, and it should also work in any G5 that has an AGP slot in it. And this one even covers ADC, which the card doesn't have. The reason why this card doesn't have it is because, well, of course, PCs don't have ADC. So you'd be out one port there. So they decided to just give you 2 DVIs, I think. We'll see in a second. I don't remember exactly what it has. And it comes with the free customer care support. So anyway, it's got dual DVI. So let's pull it out here. And we'll compare it a little bit to factory cards here. Okay. So here's the card. The dead giveaway that this is not a retail, an OEM card is this bracket right here. It didn't comment on any of the retail cards. And I should have pulled out my ADC card that's already in this MDD to show you what the ADC one looks like. But you'll see it when I put it in there. But anyway, this is the card. Let's compare it really quick to, like, for instance, a PC version. Now, the retail PC version would have looked different. This is an OEM card. This is a bare bones card. But, you know, they all look similar. The dies are in the same place. They use the same heat sinks, okay? But they are different. And here is the early 2005 G5 card. They look the most alike. And this actually isn't silver on the factory cards. I colored that because I was bored one day. But anyway, yeah, same heat sinks. This one's actually really close to this one. They're really close to each other. And let's see here. It's interesting. This one has 2 TMDS silicon image chips on it, where this one has 1. But they do look a lot similar. These are basically identical in layout. It's interesting. They look a lot alike. So, yeah. The biggest dead giveaway would be the bracket itself. I don't know why they made it that way, but it's the easiest way to tell. And this card looks like it could be new. And the sticker even says Mac 9600 Pro on it. it doesn't even specify that it's a PC card, which is weird. But 99% sure it's a PC card before we find out. But yeah, this is the card right here. Really quick. This isn't, of course, the top end card you could get. They even had a 9800 card that had PC and Mac capabilities. But this one, I thought you guys would really like to see this, because this is really interesting. And another thing is, you can also tell that this is a universal card because it doesn't have a locking tab piece on here. Where, for instance, on a G5 it would be right here. I sold this one off for my FireWire 800, but there'd be one right here. And on a PC or G4 card, it's right here. And that's because the G5s have AGP Pro slots, which are longer. And you have to make room for that for the lock. So yeah, this doesn't come with it. You don't need it. And ATI, I figured that you wouldn't want or need it. They could have done, some companies have breakaway locking tabs. You know, you could have broken off whichever one you didn't need, but that would have cost extra, you know, but still. So here's the card. Let's start looking at these cards in the system. So we'll start off with I don't know. Let's start off with my FireWire 800. We'll put this PC card in it. You'll quickly notice it's really pointless to film, but I just want to show you guys. It's not going to do anything. So let's get on to it. Oh, I forgot to mention one last thing. The difference between a Pro and an XT card. The 9600 Pros from the early 2005 models are literally just XTs, rebranded to just be a 9600 Pro. What's the difference between a Pro and an XT? The Pros are lower end. XTs are higher end. They have higher clock rates. They might have a few extra pixel pipes, but I'm not too sure on that. But they have higher clock rates, and they have they tend to have less VRAM. I don't know why. So this is a 256 Pro, and this would technically be a I think this is a 128. I can't remember right offhand. This is, I think, a 128 XT technically, even though it's not branded that way. In the MDD, I have a 128 XT from that time period with ADC, and this would be a Pro. This was, I think, the lowest end card. No, I think this was the medium end card you can get on a Gateway at the time. But yeah, that's the difference between a Pro and an XT. When you're on the market for one, look for an XT. It will have less VRAM, but they tend to have more power. They tend to go better. But this will still perform well, especially with 256 megs of RAM. Plenty enough for a lot of games on a Mac or old XP games, you know, if you're on a PC with this card. But really, if you're buying this card, you're the premium for it being a Mac compatible card would probably turn you away from it. You'd probably want to go with a PC card if you were going for PC. But yeah, that's the difference between that. I wanted to quickly address that. So let's get on with opening up the MDD. Okay, so first off, what's really cool about this universal card is its switching card. It can switch between supporting an 8x slot or a 4x slot, where MDDs and OEM cards can't. And some other AGP cards could not do that. So MDDs, they run on 4x cards, slots, okay? And let's move this back some to it downwards. Okay. So anyway, what you have to do with a G5 OEM card would be remove some resistors, which disables 8x speeds, and allows it to run in an MDD. And this is a G5 OEM card in it currently, as we can see right here. And I think I left the other card over here. Let's see real quick. Yeah. Okay. So the card that's in it is a 2003 era, 2004 also era G5 card with the ADC slot, where the retail Pro card would have just been 2 DVIs, as we can see here. Other than that, that's about the difference. This one's, of course, is the modified one that relocates the G5 ADC power to a G4 ADC power. This one basically won't plug into a G5 anymore. But if you don't do that mod, you can still use this in a G5. It would just run at 4 times speed because it's been modified. Basically just to remove 2 resistors, or you can tape the pins and you won't have to permanently modify the card. I just prefer to remove the resistors. But this one, it automatically switches. But that's not what we're going to be doing right now. Right now we're going to be putting this gateway card, which I don't even think I've plugged in since probably 2004. I replaced this with, I want to say it was a 5700 LE in the gateway. And then I replaced that LE with what's in it now, which you'll see in a few minutes. But anyway, I don't think this has been on since 2004. I don't know if it still works, but either way, we'll show you that it will plug in, and we'll show you that's about it. It's all it's going to really do. So let's get this camera nice and in here. I'm turning the wrong knob here. Let's see if we can get a good angle of me putting this on. So basically, there went my light, of course. Okay, we fixed my light, and let's plug it in really quick. It should just slot right in. Yeah, there it goes. And we have it plugged in. We'll put the screw in just for the heck of it. Don't really have much of a point to do that, but yeah, let's do it. And there we go. We've got a PC card plugged into the MDD, and we'll close it up. Make sure everything clears. And let's plug it in. Okay, so I've got the PC card plugged into a DVI to ADC adapter for this monitor here. And what does a PC card that has been unflashed? We'll see right here. That is definitely the PC card. What does it do when you turn it on in a Mac? This is going to be a pretty short video here. We'll show you though. So let's press the power button. Huh? I have no power. So what does it do? It apparently keeps the system from even turning on unless the power supply just went. I'm hoping that's not the case. But it's literally showing no signs of life. So let's switch out the card. What in theory should have happened is the system would have probably turned on, and it either A, wouldn't have posted, or B, would have turned on, posted, and not done anything other than, you know, start booting up with no video. But for some reason it is not showing anything. There's no power, so I'm hoping the power supply didn't just crap out on me. Huh. Can't actually unplug it either. There we go. Alright. Let's put this retail card in and see if we have power afterwards. Man, I hope we do. Otherwise, we'll have to pull out my 400, which I don't really want to do. Retail card goes in nicely, as we can see. And then we just screw it back in and pray that this time it turns on. So yeah. The other reason why it might not be working on this system is because MDDs, that is an 8 times card. MDDs usually don't do anything with an 8 times card, and I didn't modify it. So that might be the reason why there was no power. But I'd say we'd test it into the G5, but physically won't fit into a G5. And I don't want to tape the pins. I'd say it was the 8 times card that prevented it from turning on, I hope. We're about to find out when the retail card, if the retail card works. So let's try it out. Okay, so now we have that retail card plugged in, as we can see right there. Let's see if the power supply is working. I'd say it is. I'd say it was just because the 8 times. But we're about to find out. So let's turn this light off and hit the power button. Oh, good. That it takes a lot off of my mind. So anyway, we'll let the system boot up. We'll show you what the retail card does. Alright, we're booted up. Let's go into About This Mac. And if we go over to graphics and displays, here we go. It only reports it as a 9600. A little odd, but yeah, as we can see here, it seems to be working fine. I don't know what the square thing is here, but it's working fine. We could do something like, let's open up OpenMark. Let's see if it does 3D. It does apparently do 3D, and it's identifying as a 9600, and it will start up the OpenMark benchmark, and it seems to be working fine. So yeah, the retail card's working fine in a G4. So now let's plug in my gateway computer and see if the retail card works in that. Okay, so it's time to do the boring old PC. We'll first put a G5 card into it just to show you what happens. But we're not going to be installing the drivers or anything. We're just going to, you know, let this thing do its thing with the basic Microsoft display drivers, because I just really don't want to mess with it. But we're about to see what happened the second time I upgraded this. Yeah, because this thing went through 3 major upgrades. So in 2007, I bought something pretty cool for this system. Side panel stuck. There we go. I bought a HD 3850, one of the fastest AGP cards ever made for one of these systems. And yes, the wires look awful. This thing's gone through a lot of revisions, and you know, I've never really messed with wiring in this system, but still. So we're going to pull out this card and take it from there. I have a DVI to VGA adapter here that I need to take out first. Okay. So this actually used PCIe power, which required a new power supply. There was an adapter I had for it, but the power supply was too weak to power this in the first place. So we'll pull this out. It's like really in there. There it goes. Alright. And there's the 3850. Really cool card. I should do a video on this sometime when I do a PC video. But anyway, put that off to the side. Let's slot in this G5 card and see if it fries my PC. I hope it doesn't. I don't think we should bother with screws. Actually, yeah, because it seems a little loose. We'll put the screw back in. Let's see what happens when you put a Mac card into a PC. Okay, so we've got the PC hooked up. I put my old trusty PS2 keyboard on it. Let's see what happens. If we look at the screen, there's no video whatsoever. There's not going to be any video. It's not going to show any video. So that's now giving an error that it has no video card installed probably. I don't remember the beep codes. So yeah, no video card installed. It just realized it. Okay, so now that we know what happens when you put a Mac card to a PC, let's put the retail card in to the PC and see what happens. Yeah, the screw's crooked, but should work. Alright, let's hook it back up and see what happens. Okay, so we've got this retail card in. Let's just hit the power button, see what happens. That's a good sign. Let's see if we can get it to go into XP. I don't remember how I used to boot this. I haven't turned it on in a few years. I need to do more things with this. This is a really cool system. It is restarting itself. Why? Why, that's not a good sign. I think this thing had been having problems in the past. But as we can see, it's showing in a display. And it's a Mac card. I think it's having a problem. Here we go. Okay, yeah. I actually run Windows 8 on this also, and this is a 478 CPU. I'm not going into huge detail. This is a Mac video. But anyway, it's got a hacked version of Windows 8 on it. It's a legit copy, but it's hacked, so it will run on these older CPUs. I did a video on it once if you want to check that out up there. It's really long, boring video, but a lot of people seem to like it, so anyway, let's go into XP. Well, that was strange. It did not recognize the mouse. Okay, so I can't get the mouse to work, but as you can see, the card itself is working, even in basic display adapter drivers. Why is the mouse not working? Well, anyway, guys, you get the idea. I can't seem to get a mouse to work right now. I might there might be something wrong with the system. I really haven't done a whole lot with it in a few years. I really need to start playing around with it more again. But right now, it seems to be fighting with me. I don't know if XP really likes these mouse I'm trying on them. And I don't have one currently that I can think of to use with it. And there's no mouse. But anyway, as you guys can see, it does work. So that's cool. So I'll shut this sucker down. And we'll go on to the G5. Okay, so the last system we are putting the retail ATI card into would be my mid-2003 PowerMac G5. And currently we have a X800 XT in it, so we'll have to take that out. Alright. There's the X800 XT. Time to downgrade. Now, like I said, I'm pretty sure this will work in Jaguar. So we're going to see if it works in Jaguar. And then we'll put it in Leopard, see if that works. And then we'll call it quits for the video. So let's get the card in. Like that. And this is always nerve-wracking because if you drop this screw, it's a pain to get back out. There we go. We have the card installed. This card's now been in 3 different systems. 3 different systems since the day it first was ever tested, aka today. So anyway, yeah. Let's put the side panel back on and plug up the system and see what happens. Alright, so let's press the power button and see what happens. I want to get over here, hit the option key. And we have video. Let's see what happens. Alright, let's start up Jaguar. Here we go. It does to indeed be working in Jaguar. Yes, it is. As we can see, this is the G5 version. Then again, it might also help because I am running modified drivers to run the X800. See what it says in displays. Here we go. It even identifies it as PC and Mac edition. It's really, really wild. Let's restart the system into Leopard and see what it identifies as. Alright, we're in Leopard. We'll go over to graphics and displays. And here we go. And as we can see, it's showing that weird box again. I don't know why it does that. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything wrong with this card or not. I don't think there is. But as we can see, it's identifying as a 9600. It didn't show any problems with Jaguar, so maybe Leopard just doesn't like the drivers for this. But anyway, we'll open up OpenMark real quick to see if it's showing the 3D. It seems to be. And it seems to be working. So, yeah. That is the, where is the box I just had? Here it is. That is the PC and Mac Edition Radeon 9600 Pro. Really weird piece of technology there, because as you saw, it worked in PCs 4 times, Macs, and 8 times Macs AGP slot speeds. So yeah, it's a very interesting card, and you know, I got it new in box. At least I figure it was. It looks clean enough. It doesn't really look like it ever got used, so yeah. The card seems to be working great. Can't complain about that. And I thought you guys would really be interested in seeing something really weird like this, because this is truly a piece of oddware when you think about it. Because what was going through ATI's mind when they decided to make a PC and Mac Edition card? When they were already selling PC versions of this, and I think they also sold Mac versions of this, and they all cost probably about the same. The PC and Mac Edition, I don't know, I figure was a little bit more. I mean, it was kind of a head scratcher there, but still. So that's the end of today's video, guys. Don't forget that I do have a Patreon now if you'd like to support me. There'll be a link in the description below and also at the end of the video. I'm also now supported by sellyourmac.com, so if you have an Apple device you'd like to sell, sellyourmac.com /RodKMods. And also, don't forget, guys, that next episode I'm planning on having it as the G4 Quad video. Episode 10 should be really exciting. I'm working on it as we speak, but this card came in, I thought it'd probably be more fun to do this for right now. Also, Garrett Green's video will be coming up. Like I said, I'm thinking of separating that out of the quad video and making it his own video, because Garrett's video is really good. So anyway, yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching today's video, and this has been a RodKMods video.